We associate Japanese cars with high quality and reliability, but often also with high price. Top-spec Mazda2 costs about as much as a top-spec hybrid Toyota Yaris or a Ford Fiesta ST. What's so special about this Supermini?
There is the Mazda badge and interesting looks. Yes, I like what this car looks like compared to the previous generation as well as the current competition. You cannot mistake Mazda2 for anything else. Soak in those looks.
Seen enough? Okay, so let's look under the bonnet. This is where a 1.5-liter petrol engine resides. It produces between 75 and 115 horsepower depending on the version. It is naturally aspirated, and Mazda opposes to downsizing and turbocharging. It prefers to optimize naturally aspirated engines and calls it right-sizing.
The 280-liter boot is one of the smallest in the class. There are no hooks or mounts. There are only a couple of straps for the warning triangle or a fire extinguisher. There is a repair kit under the boot floor. There is also nothing to write home about in the back. Legroom and headroom is average. Taller people will have to lean their heads sideways towards the middle to avoid hitting the roofline with their temples. This explains lack of handles, which are usually up here. There are also no door bins, no cup holders, no 12-volt socket, no armrest, but there is a tunnel running through the middle.
At least it's more interesting in the front. We know this cockpit from Mazda CX-3. There is also no armrest here, but you can order one as an option. The glove box is average size, but here it seems to be better put together than in the CX-3. There are also a couple of cup holders here, a place to put your smartphone, an average size smartphone here. At the bottom of the center console there are also a couple of USB ports, 12-volt socket and a 3.5mm jack socket. There are door bins, so there's a place to put your bottle of water. It all looks relatively modern, but I'm still not a fan of this sat-nav, even if in this car it's better attached than in the CX-3, but I'm not a big fan of the interface. But Mazda will not have anything new, at least until it facelifts some of its models.
Keyless ignition is standard. Keyless access may be an option, possibly a part of an equipment package. Check with your local dealer.
Behind the wheel of the new Mazda2, I feel a bit strange. On the one hand, there is direct steering, really slick gearbox, and the 115 horsepower 1.5 engine likes to rev. On the other hand, I'm sitting way too high. This is the lowest sitting position I can get. I feel somewhat claustrophobic with the A-pillar very close to me here. There's also a huge blind spot behind the C-pillar. Now I understand why Mazda is offering an optional blind spot monitoring system, but in a city car, visibility should be priority. Speaking of visibility, rear window wiper is on the wrong side. Well, on the wrong side if we're in a left-hand drive car. Probably in right-hand drive countries it's much better because you see the right side more than the left side. It's really annoying during the rain. I looked at the rear window wipers in other hatchbacks, and usually it's either mounted centrally or on the left side. So you get better visibility on your side, not on the other side. Back to the driving position for a minute. I'd like to have horizontal steering adjustment as well as vertical adjustment, because either I'm sitting too close and my legs are bent in the knees too much, or I'm sitting too far and I feel I could be just a centimeter closer to get a better grip. I thought about putting the backrest into a more vertical position, but if I do that, I'm too close to the A-pillar, and because I'm sitting rather high, it's just not very convenient. Interestingly enough, my girlfriend doesn't have that problem, but she's 15 centimeters shorter than me, so she's fine in this car. She loves it. But even my girlfriend would like a reversing camera. even as an option. There is no reversing camera, but on the plus side there is a cross-traffic monitoring system for reversing. As far as handling is concerned, Mazda2 encourages enthusiastic driving. Very enthusiastic indeed. Okay, so the suspension is somewhat on the stiff side, which maybe or actually is a nuisance on bumpy roads, but if you like to take your corners fast, you will get some lift-off oversteer. Now, I know this isn't exactly a top priority on Supermini buying list, but in my book, a tail-happy car always gets points for style. Mazda2 is also very light. At 980 kilograms, it's one of the lightest cars in its segment, right behind much smaller Suzuki Swift and slightly smaller Peugeot 208. I can feel the lightness not just when driving, but also when it comes to fuel economy. Mazda claims less than 5 liters per 100 kilometers in the combined cycle and a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time of less than 9 seconds. Yes, the turbocharged competition makes similar claims, at least on paper, but only Mazda gets close to these claims in real life. Mazda2 will easily reach motorway speeds, which I cannot demonstrate on this road, but once it does, there is a lot of wind noise. It's normal in the B segment that there will be a lot of wind noise at motorway speed. However, Mazda is really good to drive at high speeds. It's very stable indeed. A couple of months back I drove the new Skoda Fabia, and at motorway speeds it was like a soapbox going from left to right, and it wasn't very pleasant. Mazda2 goes where I pointed. I have mixed feelings about the new Mazda 2. On the one hand, it's brilliant to drive, on the other, ergonomics leave something to be desired, and with prices starting at almost 13,000 euros, it's hard to justify the premium. This example with extras costs well over 20 grand, like Ford Fiesta ST, which I mentioned at the start. Mazda must be really sure of its reliability. And what's your favorite Supermini? Watch my other reviews of Superminis and let me know in the comments below. Also rate and share my videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.